Hello beautiful, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to go over how to know that you're ready for your soulmate. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because I have been in my own healing journey now for 2.5 years of my single season, where I have solely focused a really big chunk of that time to healing, to doing the inner work, to getting rid of all of the limiting beliefs so that I can actually attract my dream partner. And what really got me thinking about this topic is because in my own healing and self-growth journey, what I've realized is that attracting your dream partner, attracting your soulmate, it's really just you finding your soul again. You really finding who you truly are, removing all the limiting beliefs and all the parts that really aren't you. And when you actually heal and you get to that point where you find yourself because you really are the one, then you're going to find your soulmate of the healed version of you. Because I truly believe that we have different soulmates depending on how healed we are and where we are in our life. So the past unhealthy version of me 3 years ago, that person had a specific soulmate, right? Because really the people that come into our lives are relationships, romantic or friendships. They're coming for us to grow, for us to teach us the things that we have not healed. So it's really beautiful when you're able to actually look at your relationships of why they're actually coming to your life, because everything that's happening into your life, it's really just a mirror of what is going on inside. And the moment that you can actually take really full accountability of saying, okay, if I'm attracting this kind of partner, is because there's something within me that I feel that I deserve this type of partner, or I whatever lesson. There's so many things that can go into like the type of partners that we're attracting, but this is why self-reflection is so important. Because if you are not self-reflecting and if you're not taking the time to actually look within of what is actually going on, you're going to just continue to repeat the patterns of the partners that you're attracting, and you're never really going to be able to attract, that soulmate, your dream partner that you truly desire from the healed version of you. And if you have not yet gotten my free masterclass that I did on how to attract healthy, high value masculine men, you can get that below. It's completely free, and I really go in deeper in that masterclass on the law of attraction and how to actually attract high value man. But today we're gonna go over on like the main things that I have really learned really make the biggest impact to truly know if you're ready for your soulmate. So the number one thing that you want to look into is your attachment style. This is extremely important when it comes to actually attracting a healthy, high value masculine man. So if you have not read the book Attached before, I highly recommend it. This is one of the books that really opened up my eyes to my own attachment style. I will be honest, I haven't ever focused a lot into the attachment styles, and the reason for that is because really when you have attachment styles is really just about having low self-esteem, self-worth, having limiting beliefs and parts of you that you have not healed from like your childhood. So I have focused more on the parts where we actually heal and we actually raise your self-esteem and all of that, because I think if we just focus on, oh, I'm an avoidant, I think it can lead to a little bit of excusing our behavior, right? So rather than excusing the behavior, I have focused myself more on the actual like healing part, right? But the reason why I think it can be really helpful if you have never read it before or looked into it too much is because self-awareness is the first part to healing. So you being able to read that book and figure out your own attachment style is really going to be able to really give you a big picture of why you actually actually have been attracting, the type of partners that you've been attracting. But not just that, but looking at the patterns that you've had with the men that you've dated. So if we go over the different attachment styles, so the first one is avoidant attachment style. So the avoidant attachment style has more of like a fear of intimacy. So when they notice that someone is getting close to them, they tend to like push those people away, because even though they do want to be close to, you know, a specific person, they don't really trust those people that they're not gonna hurt them or that they're not gonna reject them. So I used to be a really big avoidant, and I have worked so much to really get to a secure attachment style. But you know, I had situations where, you know, when men were, you know, showing a lot of attention, or like, you know, showing that they really liked me or anything like that, I literally would feel like, oh my gosh, I literally need to run the other way, 100 miles away, because I just felt, because of things that I had gone through my childhood, that this is just too good to be true. And even if they're showing up as like a good person right now, I had a fear that they were eventually going to either hurt me or leave me, right? So it's, again, like, this book is really powerful, because it's gonna allow you to see what's my attachment styles, for you to actually see your patterns. And then once you see your patterns, you can actually work through them to actually heal them. Okay, so that's number one. The second one is anxious attachment style. So the anxious attachment style is that when they get into a relationship, they tend to like overvalue the person that they're dating and undervalue themselves, which really comes from like low self-esteem. So it's like, you know, they'll be like chasing the person and like over having to like prove that they're worthy of their love, because they really want to be loved, and they also have like a deep fear of being abandoned. So I feel like the anxious attachment is also the type of person that will probably stay in relationships that don't really serve them, because they don't want to be abandoned and they want to be loved, so they stay in relationships that don't serve them. Whereas the avoidant, they're quicker to leave because they're afraid of that intimacy. And the reason why this is so important for you to understand is because avoidants usually attract anxious. So it's like this trap of like, whichever, like if you're not a secure attachment style, you're usually going to attract your opposite. Okay, so I know for me, you know, like when I was an avoidant attachment style and my ex was more of an anxious attachment style, right? So it really doesn't matter, because regardless, whichever side you're in, it's gonna be unhealthy, and it's not gonna allow you to truly be in a healthy relationship. So one of the biggest things that I really worked on so much is really getting to that place where I was a secure attachment style, where I felt safe with intimacy and with closeness, and you know, I saw my worth and my, you know, had self-esteem, and you know, would feel comfortable walking away if someone wasn't valuing me, right? So I did have a mix, a bit of the avoidant and the anxious, which that is the third one. It's called the disorganized attachment style, which means that you kind of have both. So I did have a little bit of both. I definitely was more on the avoidant side, but I did have a little bit of the anxious attachment style. So I focused a lot on healing my attachment style, because after I read this book, I realized, oh my gosh, like as long as I'm an avoidant, I'm probably going to continue to attract, you know, anxious partners. And also I was a bit of both. So like regardless, I was not really going, like, again, I was not the reciprocal for the secure attachment style. Okay, and again, I talk about this in my free masterclass that I did, but in the law of attraction, you always attract who you are. And that's why, you know, maybe when I share like, you know, I took a 1.5 years off to work on myself, it's because I realized if I don't work on myself and I date, you know, I'm probably going to end up with a partner that is unhealthy, because I realized how unhealthy I was. And one of the really big like indicators for like how healthy you are is your attachment style. Because when you have actually done the inner work and you've worked on yourself and you get to a secure attachment style, which the secure attachment style has high self-esteem, high self-worth, you know, they see their value in a relationship, but they also feel comfortable with vulnerability and closeness. It's a really healthy dynamic where you're able to, you know, it's not, you know, you're not gonna be like someone that's a secure attachment is not gonna be love bombing someone, because they feel confident in themselves and the relationship. So it's like you slowly build up, you respect one another, you know how to express yourself if, you know, your needs aren't being met in a respectful way, you know, without being disrespectful. I talked about this in my last YouTube video, if you haven't watched that, on like how to stop people pleasing, but how to be a better communicator. So again, this really all comes back to becoming a secure attachment style, to where I wanted to attract a secure attachment style man, which honestly, like if we really look at like the world, the secure attachment style is like the smallest percentage of them all. You know, most people in today's society are either avoidant, anxious, or they're a mix of the avoidant or anxious, right? So that's why it took so long to work on myself, ladies, is because I wanted to be with that small percentage of man that was a secure attachment style. And the secure attachment style, like the true healthy masculine man, if he comes across a woman that, you know, is either very like needy, like, you know, more anxious attachment, or a partner that is more like avoidant, where like isn't even allowing him to get close, eventually that secure attachment style man, a healthy masculine man, he will eventually end up leaving, or like the relationship will really not work out, because a secure attachment style person wants a relationship with a secure attachment style person, okay? And the reason why this is so important is because we will usually have an attachment style according to how we grew up. And, you know, I would say 95% of people in society, they grew up in unhealthy households. So what happens is that their parents had unhealthy attachment styles, and then you grow up with an unhealthy attachment style, and that's where the generational trauma comes in, because it just leads one generation to another. And that's why this is so beautiful and so powerful, ladies, because when you heal and you do the inner work, you are literally breaking generational traumas 7 generations backwards and forwards, okay? So you taking the time to heal, you will impact all of the future generations that are going to come, because you're going to break that cycle, okay? So I really recommend that you read, you know, the Attached book to really give you a picture of what's your attachment style. But for me, that's why it took a really long time, you know, in between dating, because I wanted to make sure that I felt, you know what, you know, and even though sometimes, I'll be really honest, ladies, I have caught myself sometimes where I do feel a little bit of like my avoidant tendencies coming up, or like a little bit of my anxious tendencies coming up, right? I do feel them coming up. So it's not about being perfect, but it's about getting to a point where you're like, okay, like, I truly feel confident for the most part that like I have done a lot of healing work, and I know that even if I'm not perfect, which like none of us are, you know, like really, like for us to be true, like perfectly healed, like we're not Jesus, it's probably not gonna happen, right? It's an evolution in life. We're going to continue to heal. And that's why like your healing process, it's not like a one-stop shop. Like even now, I continue to do the inner work and continue to remove limiting beliefs, continue to remove stories that are no longer serving me. So it's a process, but for me personally, you know, that 1.5 years, I got to a place where I was like, you know what? I know that even if I'm not perfect right now, I know that I am the reciprocal for a secure man. And I know that I could handle a relationship really well with a healthy masculine. And that's why I decided, okay, I'm ready now. And that's when I got back into dating. So after you read the attached book and find out which one is your attachment style, in the Queen Embodiment, I help you really remove all of the limiting beliefs, all of the stories from your childhood. Like, we do a lot of healing inside of the Queen Embodiment because, again, being self-aware of like, okay, I'm an avoidant, but I think a lot of people, they kind of just accept which one they are, but we really are not given any tools for how to actually heal them, how to remove the stories that are no longer serving us, and really step into the version of us that is that secure attachment style. So that's what we do a lot inside of the Queen Embodiment, really working on your self-esteem, your self-confidence, again, removing those self-limiting beliefs. And that's why it's called the Queen Embodiment, because you really step into that queen energy, which is the secure, confident, queen energy, so you can actually attract your dream partner. So number 2 to know if you're ready for your soulmate is really figuring out what are the beliefs of what partner you get to have. And again, ladies, this is why it is so important you're constantly going inward and really figuring out what are the beliefs that are coming up for you. One thing that I highly recommend, if you don't already do it, is to journal every single night. I journal, you know, pretty often, but I journaled every single night for about 2 years or more. I can't remember now, but it really is something that's really important, because when you journal, you're able to actually get more of those subconscious beliefs and thoughts that come up for you. And truly, once you start journaling, you'll be so surprised of what comes up, and then you're able to actually work through those beliefs. So if you haven't gotten my free feminine energy guide, I have it below, and in the guide I teach you how to journal. I feel like people make journaling like difficult, but it really is just gets to be simple. I show you a few examples inside of the guide, but it's really just have a journal. I have mine right there. Have a journal, and you can literally just do like a few sentences per night, or you can do 1 page. Sometimes I do 5 pages, right? So depending on what is going on for you for that day, just writing down what happened for you, how you felt. Again, starting to get connected to your emotions and to your feelings allow you to start becoming self-aware, and self-awareness is the first step to healing. Okay, so one question that I want you to actually journal is ask yourself, what are the limiting beliefs that would come up for me if I met my dream partner tomorrow? So if you met your dream partner tomorrow, what are the limiting beliefs that would come up for you? And allow for you to see, like, just journal out and just see what comes up. What are the unworthy feelings? Like, just anything that comes up for you, because those limiting beliefs that you have are the limiting beliefs that are blocking you from you attracting your dream partner. So if you guys don't know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I have been, you know, yes, in a healing journey for 2.5 years, but the last, I would say like 10 months, I realized that I was dealing with like some hormonal imbalances, and the last 10 months, I have focused a lot of my energy and time into like healing my hormones. I truly feel like the past month is like the first month where I'm actually starting to feel like myself again, and, you know, having energy. Like, I was just dealing with like so many symptoms, but for me, the past year, you know, I was dating on and off depending on how well I was feeling. But especially this year, I consciously was like, I do not want my dream partner to come. And I know you guys might be thinking like, what? But I know how powerful I am, and I'm a pretty fast manifester, and I consciously was like, I do not want to attract my dream partner right now, because I was not feeling confident. Like, I was not feeling good in my own body. I had low energy. Like, I was just dealing with all of these things, and I really was like, I really just want to give all of this time to me, to my healing. And now I'm getting to a place where I'll probably start dating soon here, but I really gave myself this year to just literally pour on myself, love on myself. So all of the things that I tell you ladies of like, you know, I recommend for you to take a dating break. The reason why I say those things is because I know how powerful they are, and I know how helpful they are, not only for yourself, just like I said in number one, you finding your dream partner, you have to find you first. You have to really, again, find who you are, heal first, and then you'll easily attract your dream partner when you have done the work. And it's not about being perfect, but you're always going to attract the partner of wherever you are in your life, you know? So if I'm ever attracting a certain partner where they're reflecting certain beliefs to me, I automatically go to my little journal and I'm like, why am I attracting this type of man? Why am I getting this type of treatment? Because if I'm ever like, I have shared this with you ladies, but like I have gotten to a point with my own healing journey where, you know, any man that I'm really dating, for the most part, they have like 95% or up of like my really long love list. So I know that I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, like I know I have healed so much because I'm for sure an energetic reciprocal to someone that's around 95%, because that's just coming to me like very easily. So I do a lot of inner work of getting rid of any limiting beliefs that, you know, why am I attracting any little thing that I notice, I'm constantly on top of it and removing those limiting beliefs. So that's what I, again, like I said, that's what I really show you how to do inside of the Queen Embodiment, because there's a process to it. And then once you learn the process, it's super easy. And then once you find any limiting belief in your life, you can flip it, you can switch it. And then it's so crazy, ladies, but when you flip your limiting beliefs, this has happened to me where like I'll notice like a pattern, like let's just say like a specific man is treating me a specific way. I'll notice the limiting belief, I'll work through it, you know, create a new belief that's actually going to support me for what I desire. And then like a few days later, I'll literally start attracting men that treat me completely different and treat me to prove the new belief that I have. So everything that is happening to you is a reflection of your inner world. The world is literally a mirror of and a hologram of what you believe. So if you believe that there's no good men, if you believe that you're not worthy of XXX, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to be reflected back to you. And this is why, again, for number two is see what limiting beliefs come up for you so that you can actually work through them, and then you can start creating new affirmations for what you actually desire. And number three to know if you are ready for your soulmate is to ask yourself, are you the reciprocal to your dream partner? This is the most important part to being able to attract your dream partner to you, but not just being able to attract. And I talk about this all the time, ladies, but you can attract a great man, but if you're not the reciprocal, like literally the attraction part is literally the first step of the puzzle. Like you have to first attract that type of person, and then it's like, you know, you have mutual respect and like love and admiration for each other, and then it leads into commitment, and then it leads to like engagement and marriage, right? So this is why I like highly tell you ladies, like you first have to figure out like, okay, who are you attracting? Because if you're not even yet attracting the type of men that you want, you're never gonna get to the admiration and the respect and the commitment. Like those other steps that are so important, right, are so important. So it's not just about who we're attracting, but then when you actually come in contact with those people, how is the relationship playing out? Because I don't know if I've shared this story before, but you know, it happened to me, I think it was like 3 years ago or something, where I had gone on a date with this guy, and I truly feel like this guy was a very like secure attachment, like healthy masculine guy. And after like a few dates, he stopped talking to me, and you know, that really did not happen. Like I think that he was probably one of like the only guys that like stopped talking to me. That really does not happen to me often, so that that hurt my ego, girls, because I really liked him, because I realized, like, I was like, wow, like he really is like a healthy masculine guy. And that was actually, I think after I dated that guy is when I realized, you know what, I need to focus on my healing, because even if I come in contact with a healthy man, it really doesn't matter, because like I said in step number 1, you can come in contact with them, but if they realize, you know what, this girl has a lot of issues, they're just going to stop talking to you, right? So what I really recommend for you to do is write down a detailed list of everything that you want in your soulmate, in your dream man, and then write the list from the perspective of your dream partner. And it's like, okay, like, you know, see the paper side by side. Are you actually the reciprocal to your dream man, right? One of the really big ones that I want you guys to just, you know, for me to put it in picture for you ladies is like, okay, if you want a man that is like, you know, has high self-esteem, well, do you have high self-esteem, right? Because if you meet a man and he has high self-esteem and he meets you and you have low self-esteem, again, he's not going to respect you. So one of the most important parts for like a healthy relationship is respect and admiration, like mutual respect and admiration. When there's mutual respect and admiration for the person, that's when, you know, when you tell your partner something, they're quick to, you know, change their behavior, because they respect you as, you know, as like a more than just like romantically, but they like who you are. They like you as a person. They respect you, they admire you, and they want to keep you in their lives. And that's what allows you to actually be able to maintain and actually lead into engagement and marriage in a healthy relationship, when there's that mutual respect and admiration for each other, right? So write down your list, you know, see who your dream partner is, and then ask yourself, am I the reciprocal to my dream man? And if you're not, and you know, you see the places where you're not, then that's when you know that you need to get to work, right? And start healing and start working on raising your self-esteem, or, you know, whichever. There's so many things that you can, you know, once you write your list, you'll be able to figure out. But again, the self-awareness, it's just the first part. Then you have to do the second part of actually healing and doing the inner work or the physical work, right? To be able to actually attract your dream partner. I made another video that says how to attract healthy masculine men. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend that video, because that one I go a little bit more in depth of actually how to attract healthy masculine men. But again, when you actually heal and you do the inner work and you become the reciprocal to a healthy masculine man, you'll be able to not only attract that type of man with ease, but then you'll be able to actually get into a relationship with that man, him wanting you for commitment, he want to propose to you, he wants to marry you, because he sees you as his equal. And a man really only gets in a relationship with a woman that he sees as his equal. If a man ever thinks that you're below him, right, like if he's like, okay, this girl doesn't love herself, or this girl has low self-esteem, or whatever, right, he might hook up with you, or he might, you know, go on dates with you, but he's not gonna ask you to be in a committed relationship, because he does not have that respect for you. So again, really working yourself is the key to easily attract healthy masculine men. And then once you meet a healthy masculine man, really within a few months, you know, then he'll ask you to be his girlfriend, because it's really the next step, ladies. Like for me, honestly, I attract a lot of healthy masculine men. Like that's really not hard for me at all. I'm just picky because I want to find my specific soulmate and person, and again, I don't mind waiting for that person to come, right? So it's also about having that faith and having that trust. And it's so important, ladies, like if you want to manifest anything into your life, right, like in the Bible it says, you know, ask and it has already been given. So why does God say that? It's because he's saying that you need to have faith. You need to have a deep knowing in your core that he is going to come. And then once you know that he's going to come, all you have to focus on is doing the healing and the inner work and all the other things so that you can be prepared for him. That is all that you need to do, because he's going to come. You don't need to stress about it. You don't need to be thinking about it every 5 minutes. All you have to do is focus on you, and I promise, just like the law of attraction, you literally, whatever frequency we're showing up in our life, and I talk about this deeper in the masterclass, so make sure to get it below, just like a magnet, okay? We're all energy and frequency. However you're showing up in your life, you're going to attract people in your life like a magnet, depending on your energy frequency. So if you're at an energetic frequency and you're attracting these men and you're like, this is just not the men that I want, you just need to raise your frequency, right? And then once you raise your frequency, then you're going to attract men at a higher frequency. So it really is that simple, but we just have to do the inner work to actually get there. That is the end of this video, ladies. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I will link all of the links below of all my free guides, master classes, and any of my programs in order to support you in your journey. So I will see you in the next one. Bye, love.